All right, let's talk about the root code of reality. We're going to unpack a model for everything. It's called relative generation. So let's start with this quote. It's our jumping off point because it forces us to ask a really uncomfortable question. What if the universe doesn't have to make logical sense to us? What if the real mechanics underneath it all are way, way simpler and frankly, a lot stranger than any story we could ever come up with? You see, this is a story about a reality that isn't built on a mountain of complicated rules. It's built on a single, elegant loop, a framework where all the insane complexity we see around us, it's all just an echo of something incredibly simple. So, what is this big secret? Well, it's that the universe isn't built on dozens of different spiritual laws or physical principles. No, all of that stuff, all those dimensions, they're just expressions of a much, much smaller number of rules. That number is two, just two. According to this framework, every single thing, every atom, every thought, every galaxy is just a dance between two fundamental laws. That's it. That's the whole show. Okay, so let's give them a name. These ideas aren't necessarily new, but the way they're framed here, well, that's the key. They are the generative law and the relational law. And you really got to get this part. The generative law is the impulse to simply exist. It's the spark, the cosmic outbreath, the command that says arise. But, just arising by itself is totally meaningless. And that's where the relational law comes in. It's the mirror, it's the context, the in-breath. It's the force that says, okay, now relate. One creates, the other gives it meaning. So how does a big metaphysical idea like this connect to the physical world we know? Funny thing is, it's apparently been hiding in plain sight this whole time, right inside the most famous equation ever written. It's just been flipped backwards. We've all seen this. E equals mc squared. We know it means that mass is just a form of supercondensed energy. A tiny bit of matter can unleash a whole lot of energy. But what happens if we look at it from the other direction? Now, this is the wild claim at the very heart of this model. It's not about trying to disprove physics, not at all. It's about revealing a metaphysical blueprint that's been hiding inside the math all along, a blueprint for relative generation. And there it is, flipped. Same ingredients, totally different recipe. It's not about what energy is anymore. It's about how energy is made. Okay, so here's the translation. In this version, m is mass, but think of it as condensed information, the stuff that is generated. Then you have c squared. It's not just the speed of light, it's a constant of relational intensity. It's a measure of how things relate to each other. And what do you get when you multiply them? You get E, the emergent generative field, energy itself. Put it all together, reality isn't just a pile of stuff. Reality is the product of something being generated and then relating to everything else. Okay, so if those two laws are the engine, let's see the roadmap. This framework lays it all out as a 12-dimensional journey. The first 6 steps are called the descent, but don't think of it as a fall. Think of it as the generative law's big outbreath, expanding into maximum complexity. So here's how it flows. The journey starts in dimension 1 with the principle of gender. And we're not talking male/female here. We're talking about the fundamental seed of distinction, this versus that. That initial separation immediately creates a relationship of cause and effect in D2. That relationship then condenses into tangible mass in D3. Once you have mass, you can have polarity, up, down, light, dark in D4. That opposition naturally creates vibration in D5. And finally, all of those layers weave together into correspondence in D6, the giant interconnected machine of the multiverse. See, each step is a direct result of the one before it. But right in the middle, between the outbreath and the in-breath, there's a pause. It's called the Sabbath. And it's not dimension 7. It's the singularity at the dead center of the whole thing. It's the cosmic mirror, where the journey of creation stops, looks at itself, and starts the journey back. It's the point of absolute stillness, where everything flips. So after that moment of reflection in the mirror, the second half of the journey begins, the ascent. This is the relational law's in-breath. It's the universe pulling itself back to the source, but not empty-handed. It's coming back with all the awareness and all the experience it just gained. Now, the ascent mirrors the descent, but with consciousness. So the mechanical complexity of D6 gets reflected and upgraded into conscious divine intent in D7. The raw, chaotic vibration of D5 is now understood as archetypal purpose in D8. The simple opposition of polarity in D4 is resolved into the wholeness of eternity in D9. Physical mass is now recognized as divine substance in D10. This journey leads to pure revelation. And then, finally, the final return in D12. It's the fruit of awareness, fully grown from that original seed. You know, all of this brings up the biggest question of all. If the source, the absolute, is this perfect, unified thing, then why? Why bother with this whole insane cosmic cycle of going out and coming back? Why create anything in the first place? And here it is. The answer at the very core of this system is, well, it's profound, almost heartbreaking. Perfect, absolute unity in its perfect stillness can't experience itself. To know itself, it needed contrast, it needed relationship, oneness needed a mirror. The entire universe exists so that the absolute wouldn't be so lonely. So, where do you fit in this giant cosmic family tree? The answer is everywhere. If this framework holds any water, you're not just living in the universe, you are a fundamental piece of its operating system. And this is the bottom line. This is the ultimate takeaway. The logic of relative generation means you are not some passive observer. You are not a victim of circumstance. You are an active participant, a localized expression of the two root laws. This leaves us with a pretty stark, unavoidable responsibility, doesn't it? We are the mirrors. We are the dream through which the absolute gets to experience itself. Our purpose, then, is to make it a good one. And yeah, no refunds. When you boil it all down, it comes to this. Every single moment, you are performing the two sacred actions. You generate something and you relate to something. You are a living, breathing piece of the cosmic loop. So, the only real question left is, what are you going to do with it?